co-chairman of the EdIT conference and also in Education Technology Services, and also Rachel Bush from Involvio. So let's give it up for them and have them come on up to the stage now. Let's go. Forgot to mention Arden Napier here.
All right, good morning, everyone. Thank you again for being here for our presentation. My name is Arden Napier, and I'm an instructional designer and the co-chair for this conference, and I'm a part of the Division of IT.
My name is Robert Rahman. I'm also part of the Division of IT.
Hi, I'm Rachel Bush. I'm the Director of Product from Involvio.
Hi, everybody. I'm Patty Delgado. I'm with the Center for the Advancement of Teaching.
Hi, everyone. My name is Eric Simon, also with the Center for Advancement of Teaching. And also from the center, we have Garamis. He's out here handing some stuff out. Oh, there he is, standing in the back. So he's going to be helping us out today.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for being here this morning. We're glad to have you all here. We're excited you're all here. And it's been a long week of conferences, so I know that there's a lot of things going on this week. So it's Friday. Thanks for being here. We're going to go through a few things today. So we're going to start talking a little bit about attendance, why it's important, how we can get attendance in our classrooms. We'll talk a little bit about FIU's Checkin, so Rachel's going to be joining us for that. We'll do a hands-on demo of clickers, which are paper clickers. It's a really great tool. Eric will share some more about that with Arden. And then we're going to talk about some resources, some references, and hopefully have some time for some Q&A.
All right, thank you, Patricia. So I'll be talking about why attendance is important. Attendance is important primarily because we do want students to be in classrooms. And the main reason for that is for them to build that relationship with their instructor and their peers. If they build that relationship, they'll be able to get a sense of belonging in the classroom. Also, if they get that sense of belonging, it's less likely that they'll drop from the class. FIU has implemented various technologies for student engagement and for attendance. The ones that we have recently implemented is called FIU Checkin. That system basically, it automates and it tries to expedite the whole attendance process.
Thanks, Robert. So we know that it's really important for our students to attend class, right? Or the research tells us that it's not anything new, but making sure that our students are in class and engaged is even more important. So if we have a bunch of students looking like this in our classrooms, it's great that we've got warm bodies in the seat, but this isn't going to do us or them any good, right? So how do we get them engaged? And one thing that I hear over and over and over again from faculty is they don't do the reading, they don't show up prepared for class. Anyone hear this before? Never? All of your students read everything? Nice. Well, in the event that they don't, which is really weird, there's some things that we can do to get them to read before they come to class. Shocking, I know. So here's one thing that you could do. So, for example, if I ask my students to read 3 chapters before they come to class, and then they come into class and they look like this, and I start with a 45-minute long PowerPoint presentation on all the really important parts of the reading, I just trained my students that they don't actually need to read because as soon as they get to class, I'm going to give them all the really important points. So what do we do instead? We get them engaged right off the bat. So we have some tools that we can use for this, and I'm going to give you a few ideas. There's a lot of ideas, but I'm going to go with 3 ideas right now that you might be able to incorporate in your class. So 1, start off class immediately with a question, a reading question. What was the muddiest point? What was the clearest point of that reading? What questions you have? A question that they can answer. And this is something that you can use, that you can post using clickers, right? So the students can go have a question up there immediately. They sit down in their class. They see the question. They answer the question. This is twofold. You get them thinking about the reading immediately. You get them into the headspace of the classroom. And the other opportunity is that you do get them to tell you whether they're there or not. They have to be there to answer. So now we've got kind of BOGO going on. So that's one really great idea. Another thing that you can use is something that I borrowed from Sat Gavasa. She teaches biology here. She's fabulous, in case you ever get the chance to meet her. But Sat has her students complete a reading worksheet before they come to class. And so that is somewhat their entrance ticket into class. And they print it out and they write on it, or they type on it, but they have to have that with them physically before they can walk in the door. And it only takes about 1 class before they realize that they're not going to make it through the door without that reading sheet. So what happens if I show up without my worksheet? I sit here in the corner outside of class and I fill in my worksheet, and when my worksheet's ready, I can come in and join the class. And what does this do? So as soon as the students come in, they have their worksheets, they know what they do, they get into their tables, they get into their groups, and they immediately get to work. It's a really brilliant, well-orchestrated class. If you ever have the opportunity to go watch her, I strongly encourage it. And the last thing that I'll leave you with is getting them engaged in kind of learning activities, right? So we can get them in the classroom and immediately start off with think, pair, share. So we get them in, again, we have a question posted on the board where they think about them to themselves first. They can write individually, they can just think about it, take notes, whatever that looks like. And then after a few minutes, we give them the opportunity to jump in with another student, right? So now I want you to pair up with a person next to you, with someone across the room from you. Now I'm building relationships in my class. I'm making my students talk to each other. I'm making them think and talk about the reading together. And then the share part, we have the whole class share out together. And this really gives the opportunity for students that are not comfortable speaking in a big space to share their ideas with someone else and still have their ideas heard without feeling the need to share out to the whole class, because that can often be really intimidating for our students. So these are just a few ways that you can get your students engaged right off the bat, and also they're there and knowing that they're there, knowing that they're answering these questions or bringing these worksheets also gives you the bonus of having that attendance. So it's that BOGO again. And I'm going to hand it off to Rachel to talk a little bit more about FIU's the Involvio Checkin.
Hi, thank you everyone. I'm happy to be here. I am Rachel Bush. I'm the Director of Product from Involvio. At Involvio, we produce tools that help institutions increase student engagement. Our tools are currently used across the world. We have a variety of different products, but here at FIU, our product is the attendance kit product. We were introduced to FIU through our partners at Cisco, who had heard a need for an attendance tracking solution. We felt that we had a unique position. We already had an app, a native mobile app on iOS and Android, which allowed for QR code scanning into extracurricular events. So working with the FIU team, we understood the unique requirements around classroom attendance tracking, and we built a solution that integrates with Canvas and allows for QR code scanning into Canvas. So one of the most unique requirements that we had, which we felt set us most apart from our competitors, was the need not to have instructors participate. So an instructor doesn't even have to raise their hand that they want to be a part of FIU Checkin. We can still track attendance in their class because we know that this is one of the biggest hurdles to getting attendance. So today at FIU, we are using QR code scanning exclusively, but we are also working on getting Cisco Wi-Fi check-in ready as well. So essentially, the student walks into class, they receive a push notification on their phone asking them if they are in location of the class, and then we record that attendance. So that's then all pushed to Canvas, where the instructor can see it. If they choose, they can make edits to it, and they can also, if they choose, post an assignment to the gradebook. So this has been a really great experience for us. We've been working hand in hand with the ETS team at FIU. Robert, we've had many a call with him. So this has been a great collaborative relationship. We're certainly looking forward to continuing it. And we're also over here in the corner, so if there are any questions or any follow-ups, please come by and talk to me. So with that, I'll hand it off to Eric, who is going to tell you about student engagement.
Thank you, Rachel. So we know that student engagement is one of the keys to student success. We've already heard several ways to get your students engaged in class, and we want to present another way. This is Plickers, not clickers, but Plickers. So if I stutter a little bit, please excuse me. This is a paper-based class polling system. It's free, and it keeps the high tech in your hands. So the way this works, you'll see some cards on all of your tables. There's a few things to note about these. First, each one of them is unique. No two are alike. You'll also see some numbers on the corner, and that's how we non-computers, unless if there's any robots in the room, can identify these and tell one from the other. There's also a letter on each side. So the way this works is Each student in your class would have one of these cards, and when you present a question to them, they rotate the card to show the answer that they want up at the top. So you'll see the letters. We've got them circled up here. And we actually want to try this with you so you can see how it works. So we're going to start off with a bit of a silly question. If we can switch over to the Flickr's site so you can see this. All right, so this is what your students can see. Garamis is going to walk around to scan your responses. So in your opinion, which of these TV shows had the worst ending?
Of all time.
Of all time, yes.
So we've got A, How I Met Your Mother, B, Game of Thrones, C, Dexter, or D, Seinfeld. Remember the answer that you would like to have. Make sure that that letter is corresponding at the very top. Yep. Hold it up. Garamis is going to come around, work his way through the room, and as you can notice, as the students are being picked up by the QR code reader, there's blue showing that their responses have been recorded. And he's going to continue to make his way around, and we will find out what this room thinks is the worst TV series ending of all time.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of opinions. Can't wait to see what it is.
Right. And what you're seeing up on the screen behind us is what you can show your students. We didn't get everybody's names in here, but you can show students' names where you see test student 1, etc., or not. And you can also have the responses being shown live, which we have here, the little blue bars under each of the answer choices, or not. So that kind of information is up to you. And all of this is recorded in the Flickr website with your account, which you can access with your FIU credentials through your FIU Google account if you've got that set up.
And you're noticing it's being a little more time consuming because you're a little more spread out in this space than you are in a regular classroom. Plus our lighting's a little more dim than they are in general classrooms. So Garamis has finished his run through the room. All right, and what is the response? What is the worst TV ending of all time, Garamis? Garamis?
Yeah, Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones. All right, so people were invested and not a fan of the ending.
Yeah.
All right, and then there should be a second question that we're going to do now.
Yeah, so this one's a little more of a serious question, and we want to know what you're thinking about FIU Checkin
with
and
what you've heard
that
so
QR code system for attendance.
All right, so again, FIU Checkin, that's what Robert and Rachel spoke about just a couple of minutes ago. And the answers are, again, A, yes, you're really excited. B, yes, after you attend some training. C, maybe. And D, you want to have some more info before you're deciding. In which case, go visit Rachel or the Division of IT and talk more about FIU Checkin. We've got some competing things going on up here where they're trying to make sure that their responses are recorded. Again, thank you for being great participants in this. We appreciate it. And moving around the room, he's going to continue. It looks like, yes, I'm excited, seems to be in the lead. You'll also notice on the bottom of each of the letters, as more answers are recorded, those will appear so you can kind of see at a quick glance which response is going to be what it is that you want to have your students know about. And it looks like our room in general seems to be really excited, which is not surprising because we are at a tech conference, so we appreciate that excitement. All right, and now I get to work with some new technology because I have not seen the clicker before, but it's red and green, so hopefully I will know how to do that. All right, so if Maria can switch back to the awesome. So why use Plickers? And again, Plickers, not clickers. What the ways that you're using it for is to assess your student learning. So you want to know if they understood that problem. Quick, ask a question. You show it, they give you an answer. You say, oh yeah, everyone understood that, and you can move on. Or I need to maybe go back over some things before we're going to move into the next item that we want to talk about. Less distraction. One of the things that many of our faculty members have talked about in many of the apps that have moved towards using your phone in class is that, again, your students are on their phone in class. So with this, the professors bring the Plickers to class. Every phone, every iPad, every notebook, everything can go away, and you are just assessing and interacting and engaging with your class only with what it is that they actually came into the room knowing. So that's one of the things that our faculty members have been excited about. And again, you can use them in a large or small classroom setting. Students, as you saw, can change answers easily. We've never had quite the competitive thing going where you were trying to block an answer, but I guess they could do that if you wanted to have kind of a survivor-style classroom if you wanted to. And also, FIU, we try and make things as economical as possible for our students because they want the learning to be the primary thing that they're invested in, so they save money. They don't have to pay for anything. The Plickers are provided for free to the professor. One of our professors who is actively involved in using them in the statistics department, he adapted them so that they are a little more rough and tumble ready, but he printed out that one set and he uses that same set for all of his sections of his class. So it cost him the printer and whatever special tape he put on the edges to keep them a little more sturdy for his classes to be able to use. And the biggest thing, as many professors have heard, with an iClicker, with Top Hat, with their phones, with whatever, Plickers are paper, so they are never out of battery life. There is no reason why they can't be active, engaged, and participating in your class if they're using this. All right, and we have some additional student response systems or polling options that you can use in your class. You may be more familiar with those. Again, iClicker and Top Hat are two of the ones used by a lot of professors at our institution. They have remotes, or they can be web-based. They integrate into Canvas, and you can also use slides and things with Top Hat, not with iClicker. Or I'm sorry, I may have gotten that wrong. Again, you can come talk to Robert, Division of IT Table, for more information about that. And you know, they're also a great system. They've been around for a while, but they do require an investment by the student, which is part of the reason why we were searching for something that didn't need an investment by the student. The professors could bring it. They were the ones responsible. All the students had to bring was their knowledge, or not, into the classroom to then learn what else it is that they wanted to do. And engagement. So one of the things, I don't know if any of you have heard of a feedback box. It is an anonymous student feedback that has been piloted in over 100 course sections over the last 2 semesters at FIU. And really, it is for anything that the students want to share or interact with the professor, but they don't necessarily want to be tied to that information. So it really lets them have anonymous feedback and interaction with the professor about maybe things that they're seeing in class or things that they're too afraid to say because they don't want to offend. Ideally, they're not going to use offensive language, and there is a way to, combat that if you need to. But for the most part, from all the testing that we've done, they've been very respectful, and the interactions and suggestions and things have been valuable, both for the faculty member to know that this is how their class was feeling, and then to be able to intercept those feelings and make corrections where they needed to be in the course. It's fully integrated into Canvas. It's very user-friendly, and you're able to do that. And then another engagement tool that we have that's available to all of our faculty and staff is VoiceThread, and it is kind of enhanced discussions. They can talk and connect with each other in their classrooms. You can talk and connect with your students. One of the proponents of VoiceThread is Mary Haley. She's going to be sitting over at the Division of IT table. If you really want to talk about VoiceThread in the classroom, she's used it a lot. And it integrates as well into Canvas, and you can really just enhance, and especially for a fully online section where your students may never ever see each other, it gives a face, it gives a voice, it gives video context, or even in your hybrid classes where they see each other but it's not that long, it can kind of deepen the connections and understanding that occur in your classrooms. So now we're going to go into Patty.
All right. So that was a lot of information in a very short period of time, which is generally our style around here. So we recognize that. We do have a couple Plicker workshops that we already have on date set and time set. So if you're interested in those, if you are part of the FIU community, you're more than welcome to join those. You can find those up at profdev.fiu.edu. These slides will all be shared on the app as well. So I see you taking pictures of them, and I appreciate that, but also if you missed that or you don't get a chance, you can get all of the slides on the app as well. You can come visit us in the Center for the Advancement of Teaching, teaching. We love visitors. We're in PC 237. You can visit our wonderful friends over in the Resource Center, Educational Technology Services, GL 150 if you are on this campus. If you're on BBC, it's AC1, room 148. And they're always there and available to help with all of this great information. These are just some references for you, some of the research that we mentioned, some of the research we noted. Again, these are available for you on the app, so don't feel like you need to violently write them down or take pictures of them now. And it looks like we have a little bit of time for questions.
So is there anyone who has any questions about FIU Checkin, how it works? Plickr, do you want to see it again? How does that work? Anyone want to know anything additional? Yes. And Morgan is going to come to you with the microphone so that everybody can hear.
Hi. If I have the attendance app, I'm using the attendance app, not the check-in, and I want to switch to the check-in in the middle of the class, like the semester, can I do that or no?
Yeah, you will be able to do that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I just enabled the other one and that's it.
Yeah, if you want, you can pass by the desk and I'll help you out with that.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So again, he means by the desk, the Division of IT table over there. Somebody from our team or the communications team with the Division of IT are going to be there and staffing that throughout the day. Yes, we have another one over there.
Thank you.
Hi, Rachel.
Hello. 2 questions on Plickers.
Sure.
What's the maximum number of student users it will support at one time? And can you use multiple devices to scan Plickers? Could I have several TAs walking around to scan them at the same time?
So right now they're up to maximum of 63 unique codes. So that limits your class size. I know they are working on expanding that. And yes, you can have multiple devices, although they all need to be signed in to the same Plickr account to register everything together.
Sorry, I didn't mean to step on his answer. But Rachel, I know that you have large classes, so maybe if you have a class section of 150 or 300 or whatever, you separate them into groups and you designate one team leader, and then in that way you have 63 different groups and they can, give their kind of collective response.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Other questions? Anyone? Going once?
One more test question then.
All right, so we have one final test question that Maria's going to go ahead and switch it in the back so that you can see, so that we can have some participation again from you as the audience, keep you awake. It's the morning. And the question that we are going to go ahead and ask at the end of the countdown, it's very dramatic. What from this presentation are you going to implement in your class first? So are you more interested in engaging your students in class first, low-cost options for active learning, meaning the Plickers, attendance with FIU Checkin, in case you haven't already been using that, more about it, and adding images to course content. So we've got A, B, C, and D options. Again, the fantastic Garamus is going to come around the room, record our responses. It looks like the Plickr so far is winning. Okay, we've got some excitement about it. And again, if you want to know more about that, the Center for the Advancement of Teaching's office has been working with the faculty members who have been actively engaged in Plickr. So if you want to find out more specifics about how that has been working with them, you can come see them over at their table. Perfect. All right, it looks like we've got some really, attendance with FIU Check-ins getting neck and neck. Yeah. Involvio versus Plickr. What will happen? All right, even our photography is getting into the action. I like it. Okay, moving through the room. Plickr is, nope. No, it's now. Last one's getting scanned all the way through. And Garamus, who's the final winner? He's double checking.
It's a tie.
A dead tie between engaging students in class and low-cost Plickers? Awesome. Okay, so as I said, there's that visual cue, which in class, so you'll kind of see the responses. It'll be a rapid way for them to learn and understand. And then as the instructor, you'll kind of get the actual numbers of what it is that they're going to say. Do we have another slide? I forget in our presentation. Yeah. All right, so any other questions? Perfect. Morgan's coming to you with the mic now.
Where's the question?
The gentleman right here on the second table.
Hello. I was just curious to know, do they need to have like paper, or I can just show my phone with the answer and like it can be scanned?
So they need to have the paper, and Eric is more experienced with this, so he's going to go ahead
Yeah,
and give you a
so-
more detailed answer.
The way we've seen this work best is where the individual faculty member or instructor will have a set, and then at the beginning of class, as students are coming in, they'll just grab their sheet. And since they're numbered, each student will know which one to grab, since they're associated with their, with their name.
So in addition to that A, B, and C, D that you see on your paper, you also see a number on the four corners. The one professor who's really used it a lot in his class has each student assigned a number, so they already know they come in, they get theirs out of the folder, and that's the way that he starts the class. Any other
Thank you.
questions that you think of? No? Going once? Going twice? Anything else? Okay, once again, if you think of anything, we'll be here. Involvio is going to be on this side of the room. Division of IT and CAT are going to be over on that side of the room. We'll be very excited to see you. I know we're a little bit ahead of program because we got started a little bit early, but that'll give you some time to do some bathroom breaks and things. Don't forget to check in. You'll be a part of the raffle. Again, you got to be at least 5 sessions checked in to be one of the people eligible. And thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.